Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
The meeting naturally winds long. Long. Eventually, as your asses become numb and your brains become even number, you decide it's time to wrap everything up. For now, deciding exactly how this policy is going to be made, what approach to take, is proving to be somewhat beyond you. In fact, the big decision that many of you come to is that you are, I believe the term is woefully unqualified to decide the direction for an entire kingdom, and this should likely be left to experts in the area, etc. And then the discussion shifts to, okay, how are we going to find these people, organize them, etc., etc. Eventually, you decide to bring this interminable process to a close, and you all move out into the late afternoon, sunlight barely peeking over the city walls. Harlock, you sit, watching, waiting, aware of how agonizing this meeting would be. You've been sitting with your arms crossed, pressed up against the side of the building like a cool guy for hours at this point.
Good. I've been holding it.
You've been holding it. Your back is stiff.
I want them to know how cool I am when they get out of this lame meeting.
Everyone leaves and their eyes slowly scan to the left. Inian spots you first. Oh my god, look at Harlock over there. Huh? Kier leans forward. Oh wow.
She's beginning to shake.
Oh wow, she's so cool.
Oh, no.
Why is she shaking?
Furious.
I think she's moved by a great emotion. She's shaking with she's tearing up. She's happy to see us again.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I don't really think that's the case. I think she's shaking because her body probably can't support the shh. She's doing it to be cool. Everyone stares at you across the way for a second, Harlock.
I can read lips.
You look cool!
Thanks.
I can't feel my ass.
Actually, now that we're done with that meeting, this might be a good time to bring something up.
Oh?
Harlock, come over here.
I wasn't waiting for that.
Okay, everyone. Group meeting.
Group meeting. Right here, right now?
Group meeting. Oh, excellent.
Okay, bring it in.
Silverfish just starts to
Hey,
bring
you!
it in.
I turn and gesture to the person right next to me. You're part of the group meeting now.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Okay, cool.
You? Get out of here.
So, I wasn't sure when to bring this up, but my whole thing that I was doing with, backstory, it kind of went differently than I imagined. And Marcus, this might be relevant to you.
Oh? Do tell.
Once upon a time...
As you return to town, Gregor, you separate yourself from the rest of the group. Your goal is slightly different than theirs. While they are going to go off and talk about politics and the future of this country, you have answers to seek. So you charge ahead and you enter a place that, honestly, you didn't really see yourself going, and you wouldn't be going were the circumstances like this not present. You throw open the great, large doors on the far side of town to the church. As you enter the room, your eyes sort of scan and adjust to it. Normally there's finery adorning both of the walls, but you can tell a lot of the pomp and circumstance has sort of been stripped from the place, survival scenario and all that, and instead what you look around is a very desolate building, and it almost reminds you of an abandoned church more than a full, true, and proper one.
This is pretty surprising, because back in Renelin, everything was also pretty terrible a lot of the time. People on the brink. But the church always had their fineries. Everything was a lot nicer in the churches.
Big money, big church. That's how they lived their lives. It sucked.
So it's a little heartening to see that they're struggling with the rest of the people for once. Still, the hairs on the back of Gregor's neck are standing up. This is still a very familiar place.
As you scan the room, you see that there is exactly one person on the inside, rather diminutive fellow, probably your age or younger, just a scooting back and forth. He spots you and then scoots over. He's like, "Oh, hey, welcome to the church. You looking to pray?"
No, not today.
I see. Well,
who are you?
Hi, my name's Sam. Gestures to self. I took over here pretty recently after the last crew got kind of run out of town.
Wait, took over?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
So you're the church guy around here.
I am the church guy. I thought during hard times people would need a place to pray and stuff, but yeah, previous associates of the church were literally run out of town when they refused to open the doors and were just stockpiling food and stuff. So hi, it's me. Walks forward and holds a hand out.
Gregor is still pretty wary and does not take the hand.
Oh. Okay. Slicks back here. Come on in.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Maybe I'd be completely ambivalent to neutral on the prospect of you coming inside the church. Actually, no, I'd be positive about it. It'd be nice. I've been kind of lonely in here.
Gregor takes a path that he thinks is likely to avoid any traps or pitfalls.
Okay, you're moving through all of the clumps of dust that I have yet to sweep up. He's looking over. That's fine. What can I help you with?
You say the last group of church runners ran out.
Oh, yeah.
Were you associated with them at all? Are you actually officially part of the church?
He does a little wavy hand, sort of arcing his shoulders. Just a little bit. Kinda. Not really. I used to run the bread over here in the mornings. But now it's my church. Hey, you get to know a place well enough, and eventually you own it. He looks at you with deadly serious eyes for a second. Anyway, welcome to church. Do you want a book? He takes a step backwards and tries to hand you one.
Yes, let me see that.
You pull out one of the holy scriptures, and same as always. Same old God-fearing, angel-avoiding, eyes cast to earth stuff that the church is generally up to. You flip through and you're like, yeah, seen a million of these.
Right. Okay. So don't stay right where you are.
Okay.
No moving.
Okay. I'm not going anywhere.
All right. You say that you're just the local church bread boy turned church big boy.
Church. The GM laughs. Sam is terrified.
That doesn't really add up. The last people who were here, where did they go?
Yeah. Oh, I think they got was it sent to the front or something like that? I don't exactly know.
Sent to the front?
Yeah. They got booted out of town. I'm pretty sure they got sent to oh, you guys, if you're gonna chill out here, then go fight the angels. Or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Is there you wouldn't have any way to verify that or see where they went? There's no paper trail, is there?
No, I don't necessarily think so. I don't know. I just got the job recently and everything's fine. And then you notice something. Sam lightly takes a step backwards. He violates the rule that you set in place of no moving. He stumbles backwards, turns around, and in that moment you notice his foot actually catch on the ground, and he falls backwards almost into a long, lengthy shadow, and then he pops out of existence. And you notice someone lazily lying across the lectern immediately in front of you. Presence almost undetectable for a moment. Sam, why don't you take 5? He slides over, almost lying provocatively across the altar in the very front. You recognize High Arbiter Adivian. He has the face of an angel and a smile that can curdle milk.
Gregor has his glaive out.
He lightly waves his hand back and forth, and he's like, no need for that. You could try if you want, but for now, why don't we put the glaive away? You didn't come in here to start a fight, right? Not while you're looking like that. He points at you. You're clearly exhausted from your big battle over at the tower, right?
We'll see if there's a need for that. What are you doing here? How did you get here?
He looks over. Well, after I ducked out at Freearc because I thought that the situation was screwed, I started work over in this area. Containment is an everlasting business, after all, and what do I find out other than you all not only resolved the situation in Freearc, you've appeared here and appeared to have resolved the situation over here as well. I should be throwing you a party, if anything.
I knew it wasn't a coincidence that you'd be here, but you're saying that you didn't follow us. You came here to contain the tower.
Same business as always. He sort of hangs his shoulders.
So you're saying you were there to contain Crowhenge, too?
Supposed to, yes. And then you aligned yourselves with Crowhenge itself. The thing started moving. God, a section of paladins broke themselves away from the proper functioning of the church. The boar caused absolute and utter chaos. I was left in the lurch, and I just decided to say screw it and start somewhere else. That was someone else's problem. He, loosens up his shoulders. But you still did your duty and resolved the situation for us. I think I owe you a boon or something. He crosses his legs and, leans in.
I don't want anything that you have to offer.
You sure? I gave Sam a church. He seems to love it. Boss! I fell down some stairs. I'm sorry for summoning you in the belfry. Oh, it's like he walks over and sits down on the bench over there.
So that bread boy is working for you.
He's working for himself now, isn't that right, Sam? Yeah, this is my church. He folds his hands and leans in. The original owners of this church I found to be quite displeasurable company. I thought that they'd be better suited elsewhere, so he, waves his hand around, and, again, you see those same shadows begin to form around you. I sent them somewhere else. The front, right? You could say that. He smiles.
I'm going to back away and avoid stepping on or near any of these shadows. You're supposedly a high arbiter of the church, but you're saying you did something to the people here, and that the boar wasn't aligned with you.
Oh, right. Sam, yeah? Why don't you take another break? Oh, God! He falls into another shadow. He leans in, and his gaze sort of fixates on you for a second. So, I can see it on your face now. You've seen beyond this place, this material place. You've looked upon the heavens, haven't you?
You might be able to say that. It depends what kind of heavens you're talking about.
Did you see the towering monstrosity that stretches upwards and upwards and upwards?
You're not talking about the actual tower that was there, are you?
No, the metaphorical one. The heavens stacked upon heavens, up above us.
Maybe.
Flip.
Stop doing that.
Lounging.
Why does that matter? And how would you know?
It's a look behind your eyes. It's a certain affected gauntness that is associated with those that know a little too much. Also, I can see the signs of weariness as clear as day painted on your face. But your eyes, there's a fixation there. I can tell, at least right now, that you've seen something that you really shouldn't have. Now, right, it is the function of the church to provide succor to those who are wanting. So if you want to forget what you've seen, I could do that, but he, sort of sighs and waves a hand. You don't seem like the type that would give up a memory like that.
I know what kind of succor the church offers. It's not gonna happen. What is gonna happen is you're gonna take down the barrier around this country.
His expression grows significantly more serious. All right. Done.
What?
That's a completely reasonable request. After all, my job here is done. Your job here is done. I think I can convince some of the cowards on the outside that it's time to let bygones be bygones and let everyone in Tannhauser out. Simple enough. He stretches like a cat.
I don't trust you.
He hops up and touches down. Do you think I want to be stuck in here forever as well?
I don't know what you want. And that's bad.
He folds his hands. What I want is to be able to do my job and to get on with my life. He hops back up. I was unfortunately sent to this place and confined to this job as a sort of a punishment. I do enough good deeds containing messes like this, and eventually I get to go home.
Good deeds.
So, yes. He folds his legs. Listen, the church, as they are right now, are a useful institution. Their core functionality is simple, even if they are rather disorganized. They've wrapped up a single core message in layers and cocoons of dogma. The church are people like you. He points his staff up at your face. They're people who have peered beyond, that stared into the face of God and only found fear. The church's doctrine, he reaches over and taps the book next to him repeatedly, the same one that you were looking at before. Those of penitence, avoidance, eyes cast downwards. All of these are not reverent tomes. They're tomes built of fear. You saw what the above looks like. That is a realm of pure terror. The church teaches fear so that we avoid the eyes and the ire of beings like that. He crosses the staff on his legs. Now, for me in my case, my job is to make sure that actual manifestations of that world and that place can never breach through. Of course, many members of the church have decided that fear, respect, and awe are one and the same. Statues of angels, I'm sure you've seen them so many different places. As if that would be enough to curtail the invasion and the ire of these creatures. He waves a hand lightly. Mostly, the worship of beings like that is relegated to places that have never directly encountered them. I don't think that Tannhauser will be worshipping angels in the upcoming future. They now know a little better than that, which makes the role of the church in this land tenuous at best. So, I'm leaving it to people like Sam, who are, of course, locals. You could say, oh, I know the bread boy. He runs the church now, and it's so much better. Lets the church still have a presence here without it being the same doom and gloom that it was before. Wiggles his fingers.
You are so full of garbage.
He leans in, eyes pinched shut. Oh, and why do you say that?
You don't have a role here, you're making a role here. You don't teach fear, you're enforcing it. The people who tried to stand up to all the bad stuff, you betrayed the Outriders. That's why Ventus was right. He was right about all of you guys.
He lounges again.
The people who fight against the monsters and the scary stuff and try to save people, you're against them. You put up this barrier so no one can help all the people who need help.
He flips and swings his legs back and forth, long pendulums on the side of the lectern. The Outriders, yes. Associates of the church for a while. Did the monster fighting for us, to some capacity very similar to what you are functionally doing for us right now. The spear tip that drives back the unknown.
I am not doing anything for you. The Outriders did nothing for you.
He sighs. Well, to some extent, we're serving the same interests, even if it isn't a conscious thing. We have the same goals, don't we? Drive back the unknown, protect the sanctity and the security of this place. Right. We're good and useful allies in this case. We're fighting on the same side. You remember the last time someone implicitly trusted the church. You remember the last time that an alliance was forged between, well, your organization and them due to the betterment of your homeland. You remember the betrayal, and you remember how easy it was for them to do.
When push came to shove, you let the Outriders be killed. You fanned the flames.
You notice something about him. It's a little off. He's not 100% acting like you would expect him to. All up in holy fury and all of that. He's hearing your lines, sort of absorbing them, nodding along, and then figuring out the next step he's taking. It's funny, it feels like you're almost leading the dance here. Or more accurately, you almost feel like he is using you to catch himself up to better define a role that he's playing. It's really odd. It's like boxing your own shadow. You're not sure why he's doing this, but you can tell that something's a little off about it, Vivian.
Yeah.
You've sort of got that sensation up to this point, but it's sort of intensifying in your gut a little bit, Gregor. He sort of smiles. When push came to shove, the Outrider situation, he shrugs his shoulders, one long, exaggerated shove. I'm not sure of the specifics. Are you sure the Outriders didn't do anything that would earn the ire of the church? It's such a usually fair organization, he says earnestly, but with the most there's spite and venom dripping from his words. Fair. The church. Really?
I'm sure we earned your ire somehow, but that doesn't mean much when it's you guys.
Our goals, my goals, the church's goals as a whole, are dedicated to keeping the fabric of this world as intact as physically possible. Fear works as a means to an end to that front. Respect, just the same. It gives us practical power to employ in the resolution of this. However, I am certainly not above or below using the most appropriate tool for a single job. The church has its own way of doing things, its own organized paladin orders who have their own beliefs. For me, my jurisdiction and my job allows me to step outside of that temporarily. It allows me to utilize others to the role where others would have failed. He tilts his head. In this case, I had very little to do with the success of this scenario. I had my own plans cooking, but they never came to fruition. You all resolved the issue first. Drum, drum, drum. Did you find yourself to be instrumental in this country's safety and security? He moves back. You, he points, are a mechanism for protecting this world's safety the same as us. Why can't the mechanisms get along?
I didn't see you there.
He sighs. I wasn't. Like I said, you beat me to it. I'm afraid you're more swift. And you have very useful friends and bonds and all that other fun stuff. He waves his hands around in the air that make you significantly more efficient on this front. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to contract you to begin with. You have an effectiveness that suits our purposes so well.
Sounds to me like one of the mechanisms is working and one of them isn't.
You feel like you got him with that? You expect to get this manifestation, this temporary feeling of like, ha, fucking got him. But in this case, it doesn't feel like you hit him with a good burn. It feels like You hit a genuine point of irritation in his head. He agrees with you. And you feel for a moment his entire body spike up like an angry cat, and he hops off the altar and stands in front of you. Yes, you're correct about that. Like I said, if I succeed on containment in a few regards, I am allowed to go home. If I'm not allowed to play a significant part in it, that doesn't count for my scorecard. He steps away in this direction. You all have proven to be tremendously efficient in a way that I find deeply frustrating.